feet deep. Any deeper, and the protection must be designed by a registered professional engineer. So now, let's look at the workers in the original scene who were stuck in the trench as it started to cave in. But this time, the soil has been classified as Type B. The trench has been properly sloped, and the spoil pile is moved away from the edges of the trench. The trench walls are not caving in, and the workers are safe while they work. Now let's review the shoring type of protective system for trench workers. Shoring uses various support systems to prevent soil and the trench walls from moving. There are different kinds of shoring systems, but timber and aluminum hydraulic are the two basic types. Aluminum hydraulic cylinders are the most common type of shoring, and they are typically installed using spot bracing, plywood, or stacked methods. To install the shoring correctly, you must first determine the soil type. The type of soil and depth and width of the trench determine the maximum vertical and horizontal spacing used with the members of the shoring system. If we use our example of a 3-foot wide, 10-foot deep, 40-foot long trench in Type B soil, the shoring system being installed would need to include 12 strong aluminum vertical shores, with 6 on each side of the trench. These shores, also called rails, will be connected by hydraulic cylinders every 8 feet along the length of the trench. A hand pump pressurizes the hydraulic cylinders until they fit tightly within the rails. Now that the shoring is in place, let's look again at the workers in the trench at the beginning of the video. As before, the workers are laying a sewer pipe into the bottom of a trench. But now the shoring system prevents the trench walls from caving in and keeps the workers safe. Sloping and shoring are ways to protect the sides of the trench so they don't cave in. Now let's talk about shielding, which is a way to protect the workers when they're inside the trench. Shielding involves using trench boxes, also known as trench shields, or other supports to protect workers inside a trench from collapsing soil if a cave-in occurs. The competent person should pick a trench box that is right for the soil type and all other site conditions. A trench box has 2 large plates, which are held apart by 4 horizontal cross members. These plates, or shields, must be between the sides of the trench and the work area. The shields are strong enough to protect workers inside from a soil collapse. The shields can be 2 feet above the bottom of the trench as long as they can support the entire depth of the trench and there's no caving under or behind the shield. The top of the shield should extend at least 18 inches above the level of any materials that could cave into the trench. Trench boxes are typically used in open areas, but they can also be used with the sloping methods discussed earlier. So let's see how a trench box could have saved the workers that we saw at the beginning of the video. For our example, we'll assume that the workers are in a trench with Type C soil and no sloping, but working inside a trench box. This time, as the workers lay the sewer pipe into the bottom of the trench, they are protected from any possible cave-ins. This example shows the importance of employers following OSHA's excavation standards to ensure that workers are provided with a safe workplace. These types of construction deaths are preventable. The trench cave-in prevention measures shown here save workers' lives. Use these protections on the job. It could be the difference between life and death. If you would like more information, contact OSHA at www.osha.gov or 1-800-321-OSHA. That's 1-800-321-6742.